Hello. Do you want to know about eight minuses of life in New Zealand? I've lived here for 6 years since 2016. In the last 5 years, I changed 10 locations around New Zealand, and I can tell you from both immigrant and the local view what are the true minuses of life in New Zealand. Ora from the Aotearoa, and welcome back to my channel. So I lived here for 6 years. I'm an immigrant from Russia. I already have residence visa. I'm self-employed. I have my own digital agency and I live the life of my dreams. I live as a local since I came here. Actually, I lived in 10 different locations in the last 5 years. Can you imagine, around New Zealand? So I lived in many different locations in Auckland, then I went to Taupo, then it's been Ohakune ski resort. I was skiing all winter. Being self-employed is amazing. Then we moved to the far north because we wanted to experience winterless north. We lived in Peria in the bush. We lived on the 90-mile beach behind the dune. We live now on the east coast in Cable Bay. It's super exciting, like a holiday resort location, and we're renting a huge house. So you know what? I know the true minuses of New Zealand from the view of like both immigrant and the local, and I will tell you these minuses right now. Ready? Let's go. Okay, are you ready? Minus number 1. That's actually the biggest minus that I've experienced, that I feel like the most pain about. So this is, what do you actually think? The most painful thing for an immigrant, especially from an immigrant view. I think most of you would guess it. It's the distance. Yes, New Zealand is so far, far away from everything. It's just actually really, really, really hard. So me and my husband were both from Russia. All our relatives and friends and everyone we knew for the first 25 years of our life are over there, 16,000 kilometers away. Can you imagine, so far away? So of course we feel depressed and we feel sad and we feel lonely without them. We would of course want to bring them over here and be able to travel. But due to latest news in the world, you know, there was pandemic, there is another thing happening now since February 2022. And we just don't know what's going to be. And now we have a small child, we have a son, and his parents have not even seen him yet. So we have, of course, very hard hearts about this, but we just tend to continue our life and continue working on making it better and making it possible for our relatives to come here, you know, so we're trying to earn more. So that's the part of my blogging, why I started it, because I'm investing into my future. So being far, far away is, of course, a big minus, but it can be a plus too. I will tell you why. So before coming to New Zealand, I had really, like, you know, not nice relationship with my mom, with my grandmother. But since I'm so far away, and I've been reading about this recently, they say that actually if you are, if you keep distance with your relatives, both sides actually develop even better. And this is because we don't depend from each other anymore, or we stop trying to control each other, which actually gives us freedom and is very beneficial. So if you're living with your parents, go and live somewhere else. You and your parents will only benefit from this, believe me. That's what I experienced. So yes, far, far away, but look how beautiful it is here, you know. I know it's the video is about minuses, but I cannot stop talking about the pluses of this country, right? I'm in love. Yes, I love New Zealand. I find true happiness and balance over here. It's a very peaceful and kind country. But let's get back to the minuses, yes, because that's why you are here. You can watch a video about the pluses in my several other videos. I will add links here and the description of this video. So yeah, make sure to check it out. Second minus is probably the, you know, the most popular reason why people don't come to New Zealand and they don't consider even immigrating over here. And I'm sure you guessed it right. It's expensive. It's very ridiculously expensive over here. But I need to ask you, where is it not expensive right now? So yeah, I just think you need to earn more money. That's what we're doing now. And that's what everyone should do, is think about your future and try to earn more. Try and invest your time into different online businesses that are booming at the moment, and try yourself in different niches, find your own hobby. And, you know, even I had an episode, chase your dreams with the help of blogging. And on my channel, I explain it here. And over here, I will add a link to that video as well, and in the comment below. So yeah, it's expensive. And what's expensive is over here, like food, taxes, fuel, like everything, healthcare. Although actually medicine so far has been cheap, really cheap, and actually been free. I had all free pregnancy here. I have been transported by a helicopter into another hospital when giving birth, and it was totally fine. And I had to pay for that only $10. So this country is expensive and not expensive. When I just arrived here, yes, I've been feeling how expensive it was. But since we opened our own business, yes, it's still feeling expensive, but we kind of, you know, adjusted and got used to it. And now I don't feel like it's super expensive. But looking at, for example, at the pricing in the United States or in the United Kingdom, they seem to be more expensive than New Zealand. So, you know, it's just depends, all depends. What else is expensive is that you cannot really even get mortgage at the moment. Like any house that's good looking, like for a family with a section, would cost around 1 million New Zealand dollars. This includes a little bit of land and a house, and it's not in Auckland. It's going to be outside of Auckland. Auckland is the biggest city over here. So yeah, a lot of people are, at the moment, I'm seeing this trend because I'm living outside of big city. I'm really living in a very small rural area, far away from everything. I'm located in the far north of New Zealand. Just look on the map. It's like in the middle of nowhere, really. And people, I can see a big trend that people from cities now start coming up here into the far north because it's just cheaper, more nature, less crowded, more clean, and it's just better. So yeah, and it's cheaper. So if you think it's expensive, just get out of the cities and it's not going to be so expensive. Okay, third big minus, huge minus. As a business owner, I have a digital agency here in New Zealand. My biggest struggle here was during all this time. Maybe you can guess it. Do you want to guess it? I will give you 5 seconds. Did you guess it? Did you guess it? So as a digital agency owner, my biggest struggle in New Zealand was internet. Internet, yes, internet. Most people wouldn't think about this because, you know, New Zealand is very like ahead of the world. It has very high standards of life, and it's very developed, you know, in terms of human rights, in terms of quality of life, working life balance. It's very advanced. But in internet, it's very well behind. Yes, it is. So for example, when I traveled to Sri Lanka, they had amazing 4G coverage all over the island. But here in New Zealand, if you go into the bush, you will have no coverage. You go on that beach, no coverage. You go camping, no coverage. Come on, really? And here we come to the minus number 4. And I think that probably this minus can be felt only by those who arrive from overseas, especially if you're coming from Europe or from Russia like me. Anyway, over here in New Zealand, food is very different and limited, and it's just, it has its own food mood in this country. I would call it food climate, yes. So over here, like the milk, dairy products and meat is amazing. But I'm really missing those, you know, pink or huge tomatoes from like European tomatoes from south of Europe, yes, countries, or small, tasty, sweet cucumbers. There are none of like this here. Over here, the cucumbers are like this. They're wrapped in plastic. They're, well, they have a little bit of taste, but they just don't look like real cucumbers. They look like giant, I don't know, what is this, you know? So also cheeses and sausages over here is very different to the rest of the world. I wouldn't say that it's bad. I would say that it's just different. And I miss the ones that are actually present in European countries. Over here, sausages are too fat and taste is just different. I don't know, it's just tasteless. Over here, you can find a great variety of cheddar cheeses, but at the same time, other cheeses are not so good. It's just like, you know, this niche is still very young over here, and you only can find like European cheeses in special shops. Like some of them, yes, they're present in the shops over here, but come on, if we go to France, oh, there the variety is so big. So I really hope that one day, and I can see that it's already happening, New Zealand will introduce much more products, because right now it's very, very limited. Very limited. It's a minus. I love my food. You know, I live rurally, very far away from the cities. Over here, it's like very local. And what's local food? It's very fatty, high in gluten food. It's pies, pizzas, a lot of dough, a lot of breads, white bread, white toast, sausages, spaghetti, and tomato sauce. It's like there's actually not so much food culture in this country, although those who come from overseas, like foreigners, especially Asians, Indians, and Europeans, they bring their own cuisine and they open their own restaurants around big cities of New Zealand, and their food is just fantastic. Fantastic. You know why? Because ingredients that you can get in New Zealand are very high quality. The food over here you can get organic, sustainable, very tasty, like farm sourced. So it's very natural. Of course, like some would be sprayed, but you can go for the truly organic ones. And it's very tasty. It's, you can see the vegetable or the fruit or the herb is like so healthy. And when this foreigners, they cook with their own traditional way, it just, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So whenever we feel like we need to go and eat somewhere, we go and travel. We go to Auckland. In Auckland, there is a huge street called Dominion Road. There are hundreds and hundreds of restaurants, and they're working every day serving the best Asian food ever, ever. So yeah, local food is pretty boring. And come on, foreigners, come and bring more exciting food over here, because right now this sector is evolving. New Zealand is, by the way, becoming the capital of avocado in the world. The farms are growing. Avocados over here grow like crazy. I have so many friends. They just supply me all the time with free huge avocados, and they're, oh my gosh, they're just amazing. They're so healthy, bring you so much health. So yeah, there are pluses and minuses of food of New Zealand. It depends all from you. You know, I already got adjusted, and I just cook my own food at home. I cook European food whenever I just want Sri Lankan food, Thai food, Indian food. I can cook it all myself, because I'm a fantastic cook. My husband is a fantastic cook, and we just enjoy doing it. Yeah. Do you enjoy your food? Okay, so that's enough for the fourth point. Minus number 5. Are you ready? Let's go. So minus number 5 can be felt by both locals and immigrants. Yes, and travelers. Everyone can feel this minus. So I would say that in New Zealand, everything is very slow. Oh, very slow.
Dash. Buddy, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Especially it's outside of cities. It's very slow. Like I mentioned with the internet, it takes so many months to get it. Yes. Like if you want to do business over here, it would be pretty slow as well. So locals, they just it takes them a long time to decide and to come to your business. Well, if you're trying to find a job over here, everything will be really slow, even in the cities. Yes. What else is slow? I don't remember what else is slow, but it feels like everything is slow over here. But I think it's just a part of the working life balance of New Zealand, and it's normal. Like maybe if you come from overseas, especially from a big city, even if you come from Auckland, from New Zealand, you know, you would feel like you would live in a fast pace. But when you move to other parts of New Zealand, you will live much slower. Yes, you will live much slower. You will start enjoying the working life balance, and you just gotta accept it. Just take it easy and you will enjoy your life more. So I think that's a big plus of New Zealand, a big plus inside of this big minus. Yes, very slow, but I think it's a plus as well. For some, it's a minus. You know, during maybe first 3 or 4 years, I was struggling because, you know, it's slow, but now I accepted it and I started loving it. And it's not only very slow, many locals are very lazy and they don't want to work. And I think it's pretty normal because many locals have already got good life. They are either having a real estate and they're renting it out and just getting money from that. Some people prefer to be on benefit over here, and the government support is just fantastic. No matter how low you get, the government will always lift you up. Yes, New Zealand is really good like that. But at the same time, of course, there are a lot of people that are abusing the system or just maybe not wanting to work. What's wrong with this? What if I'm not in the mood? I need to maybe, I don't know, live without the work. I think that humans should have this right not to work. We're not born to work. We're born to live, and you should enjoy your life. Just stop working, just go and travel and go and explore and find out what do you want to do in this life. A little bit of wisdom for you, see? So yes, lazy, slow, but it's okay. You will adjust. Come over here and you will enjoy it. When it comes to the tourism sector, it's actually not so slow. Like whenever you want to come to New Zealand, you will get your tickets and visas really fast. Tourism sector is a huge part of New Zealand, so New Zealanders are very, very, serious, organized, well prepared, honest, really good, providing the highest level of hospitality and quality of the holiday standards, like worldwide, global, biggest, highest standard of tourism is over here in New Zealand. Yes, it's pretty expensive, yes, but you get to see the most fascinating places where you cannot see them, like anywhere else in the world. So yeah, this is a fantastic country. Come to New Zealand. Number 6, no central heating, and overall New Zealand is pretty cold. Okay, this minus is also a minus that locals and both immigrants are feeling. And I didn't expect actually to come across this minus when I was coming to New Zealand because, coming from Russia, I was thinking, okay, New Zealand is evergreen. Look at that. It's so green. It has ocean, seafood. It looks like tropical. Yeah, it looks exotic. It looks a little bit of like Australia. And I thought it's going to be warm, but it's actually not warm at all. It's actually really cold. And what's even more, it's in the houses. Houses are so cold. There is no central heating. So if you're thinking that New Zealand is warm, you are wrong. It's really cold over here. Do you know what locals do though? They just wear hats and warm clothes inside of the houses. But come on, New Zealanders, you just need to get central heating because when you get a heater from working from a plug from electricity, yes, it actually consumes so much power. We need to have central heating over here. But so far, like we lived again in 10 different locations, in 10 different houses in the last 5 years around the North Island of New Zealand. And probably 1/3 again, or maybe half of the houses, actually all houses that we lived in were cold, except for the one that's been in Ohakune, but it's actually located in the ski resort area. So it actually has winter and snow. So that's why it did have a heater and a fireplace. But again, the electricity over there was super expensive, like $600 per month or even more. And some people even prefer to have a hot tub running, like a jacuzzi, and then your electricity boosts to $1,000 per month, just electricity. So yeah, and in all other locations, houses are super cold. Like most of the time, they won't have anything. It's just cold, cold. And in winter, it can be as cold as like +1, +5. Of course, it gets cold in the house. Like we have heaters, but like just today I received an electricity bill for $500. Oh, it's expensive. That's expensive. So electricity bill, $500. We pay the rent. How much do you think we pay? Comment below, and what, the one who guesses right, I will send you a postcard from New Zealand. So yes, it's cold, nothing to do but wear warm clothes. But despite the fact that it's actually cold, not many people do this, but I do. So what I do is I go and I swim in the oceans. Yes, they are a bit cold as well, as believed by many people over here. No one is actually swimming as I do. So I swim here all year long, and this keeps my immunity really strong. So yeah, house is cold, but the ocean is okay. Moreover, most New Zealanders walk barefoot most of the time over here, so it's not actually that cold. Yes, you can adjust. I believe in you. If locals can, then it means that you can too. Okay, are you ready? This is minus number 7. Number 7, what else can you think of? I will tell you. So this is a really specific minus. It's a minus that not many people would understand. It can be understood and felt really by the immigrants mostly, not the locals. So New Zealand is not for those who love megapolis life. Yes, it's not for those people. You know why? Because over here, there's not much happening at all. Yes, there are great outdoors, views, nature, so many activities, but it's like you self-entertain yourself here. Like you can, of course, build a community, but it's just not as big as you're used to in megapolis. There are not so many restaurants. There are not so much happening in terms of festivals or cultural life. Of course, if you live in a big city like Wellington or Auckland, and Auckland is the biggest city of New Zealand with 1/3 of population living over there. It's 1.5 million people living over there, and it's still so international. Of course, they have nightclubs, museums, and a lot of parks. Like social life over there is pretty good, but still, yet, I came from Moscow and I have friends who came from Moscow, Russia, and I have been meeting people from all over the world who come from megapolis. When they arrive to New Zealand, even to Auckland, they feel like they're missing out a lot. They feel really bored, and most of the time they leave and they go back because they feel actually bored. But I will tell you, it's just you feel bored over here. You can find many activities. It's just a matter of what you actually want to do. If you want to find a community of people who draw, it's so easy to do over here. You just need to search. If you want to go to the nightclub or on the festival, they still happen here, just maybe not in so big numbers as you used to. I consider New Zealand to be one of the best places in the world. I love it. Please subscribe and like my channel because like this video, and subscribe to my Instagram, because by this way you help me spread the word about New Zealand, share this amazing country to more people, and I would like also to inspire more people. So please share with those who need to see this, and yes, just sharing is caring. Please just be proactive. So yes, it might be a minus for some people it's a plus. Many people come to New Zealand or move outside of big cities over here because they're actually searching for quiet and peaceful life. So if you're not liking megapolis life, then New Zealand is certainly for you, because you will find the best peace of mind over here in this country. And the last minus, the last minus, we got to it. Yes, I'm talking so much, so you're finally ready to hear this last minus. It's minus number 8. Minus number 8. Again, this is the minus, a specific minus that not like the majority of people find it as a minus. For me, it's not a minus, and I will explain to you. So this is related to nature. It's related to New Zealand, and it's related to its waters and its oceans. So for many people, local oceans and the overall water temperature is considered to be really low. Yes, people think that oceans over here are cold and they don't swim in them, even in summer. Can you imagine? They're missing so much. So I'm swimming all year round, even when pregnant, even when it's cold, even after the storm, even in the bush where the water is even colder because it goes down the rocks. It's like freezing over there, but I love it even more. So like I make sure that every couple of weeks I go into the bush and jump into that freezing water, and it's just I feel how I charge and how my body and my health improves overall. But still, yes, most people think that it's cold and they never even go barefoot. Yes, and I think you're losing out, and I think that you should stop doing this and just go out there. So what temperature of the ocean you can expect over here? And I will be talking about the North Island of New Zealand. So during the average during the year is around 17 degrees, 16, 17. Yes, in winter it's like plus 16. And in summer it can get like the warmest it could get is 25 degrees. Yes, around that. So I don't know. Is it so important that the ocean is cold or warm? I will give you some pluses why it's actually better. So cold ocean is better for your immunity, as I told. Cold ocean means that actually it's a healthier ocean. You know that all these diseases and bacteria, etc., they multiply in numbers in warmer waters. So over here, lakes and oceans are colder, which means there is less bad stuff. There is less bad stuff, yes. And every fish and every seashell, every shell that we've been catching here in the ocean, we've been eating raw right away, and we never had any problems with our stomachs. We never been food poisoned over here from the fresh seafood that we catch ourselves. And we've been catching paua, scallops, all sorts of fish like snappers, kahawai, kingfish, Oh no, kingfish. Our friend's been catching. We never caught kingfish yet. What else? We buy salmon from the shops and we eat it raw. It's a New Zealand salmon as well. They catch it from the South Island. We've been catching scallops, crayfish, and yes, also eating them raw. Oysters, pipis. Yes, all this seafood is so amazing. Like literally, I can go right now and catch seafood just in front of my house. Can you imagine? I can do rod fishing. I can go underwater when it's clear. Like right now, it's stormy and windy, and it's just not going to be good visibility. So I will wait for better weather and go prey fishing. Yay, I love to do it. Actually, cold waters mean that there would be more fish because there's more oxygen for fish, so it's again beneficial. What else is better? We don't have so many sharks over here. Like we know that there are a lot of them, but they don't attack people, and it's safe. There's nothing poisonous in the oceans because it's cold. So it's just a lot of benefits. The oceans are really, really clean, but I think it's not only the plus of its temperature, but it's because the government is making really good measures in order to keep it clean, to keep its waters clean and sustainable. Like whenever they always track all the fish species and sea fish and like check everything and test water, quality water. And whenever they see that, for example, like, okay, we're missing out, we're seeing less numbers of this fish, we need to prohibit fishing for it. Yeah, for example, right now, there is no allowance for commercial catching of scallops around all New Zealand for the 2 years. It's called rahui. No, rahui. It's in Maori. So this is very sustainable, good. There's a lot of fish. Oceans are clean, and you can catch anything you want from anywhere and just eat it raw right away. So yes, it's a minus with a plus again. Sorry, guys. I think I just love New Zealand too much, and I cannot really find such big minuses. Of course, it's expensive. Yes, it's far away. Like for me, that it's being so far away from my relatives, 16,000 kilometers from my hometown, of course, makes me really depressed, sad, and like I can literally start crying right now how much in pain I feel. But this is our reality. I see a lot of people live like this right now, and the best thing I can do is just support my family however I can, is develop myself and earn more money in order to be able to maybe unite all my family somewhere safe in near future. So yes, I'm just working my way through this life, and you guys are here joining my journey. So please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it with your friends, follow me on Instagram, and please check out this beautiful shell jewelry that I just launched. It's called White Jewelry from New Zealand. I personally sourced it and handcrafted. So everything you see on the website and social media, over here, everything you see, like the packaging, 100% of this brand is made by myself, by my hands. I'm a digital creator. I'm a creative person. I love seashells. I love nature, and I want to inspire more people. And I truly believe that with the help of this seashell, I'm able to do this. So please check it out on the website void.jewelry. And thank you for watching. Your time is the most precious resource that you have. Goodbye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.